Welcome to this week's EMBN Show, where we'll be talking about the roller coaster of the e-mountain bike industry, but I'm also joined by Owen from GETTINGSOCIAL Tech. Owen, what's new in the mountain bike tech world this week?
Belt drives and gearboxes, which I think are old news on e-bikes, but new news for non-e-bike mountain bikes.
Interesting tech. Have you tried one out, ridden one yet?
No, I've seen somebody ride one really, really fast, and I've been quite close to it and lifted it and moved it around, but not actually ridden it.
I'd like to see how that develops, actually, especially in the downhill race world this year. I hear it's big news.
Yeah, it is.
So before we get into the topic of how the e-bike industry is faring, let's start with news from Canyon and an announcement regarding the battery solution for Canyon Spectral On and Torque Ons. You can now claim a partial refund, which you've been able to do for a while now, but now you can also order a new battery that'll begin shipping in March. And the guarantee and warranty rights will be automatically extended to replacement battery. Much more information on the Canyon website, like how to check to see if your battery is affected, how to dispose of it, and then the steps you need to take to get a new battery as well. Right, Owen, this feels like big news that's slightly slipped under the radar. So Pierre New Mobility, that's the parent company of KTM Motorcycles, as well as Gas Gas and Husqvarna e-bikes, sort of confusingly, amongst others, have this announcement. They've said that P&M will focus its activities on the brands Husqvarna e-bicycles and Gas Gas bicycles. It's sort of misleading, I think. By focus, they mean slim it down, basically. Translated, that means they're going to be gradually and systematically phasing out of the regional activities in South Africa, Germany and the UK. So I think particularly Germany and the UK have got to be pretty big markets for them selling e-bikes.
So,
what
yeah.
you'd have thought. So KTM Motorcycles, which is the largest European motorcycle manufacturer, which is different to the KTM Bicycle Company, by the way. So the motorcycle company has been in the news recently for major restructuring processes and an urgently needed capital increase from issuing new stock to the Vienna Stock Exchange. And it looks like there's a lot of work going on there to save what is a massive company, and halting the e-bike sales in some regions for Husqvarna and Gas Gas is part of that, which feels like quite a big hit to take for the e-mountain bike market.
Yeah, it does. I mean, yeah, Gas Gas were one of only, was it 4 brands that had the SRAM powertrain, the new like SRAM emtb motor.
New Proof's gone as well.
Yeah.
So there's only now, I think it's Transition and
propane.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, it seems like a big blow because that bike seemed really sorted, like good suspension, you know, kind of like dedicated EMTB suspension, not just a regular mountain bike one that's sort of converted a bit. So yeah, big change there. So interesting to see how that plays out.
Add to that the previous news, like Yamaha US halting the sales of e-bikes back at the end of last year. Does it show sort of a slowdown in the market as a whole? As we've seen this with mountain bikes, it's been, you know, pretty tough time for mountain bike sales for, a few years, I think.
Yeah, really. I think it has. I guess it feels like there was a lot of people that read in a lot into a kind of COVID couple of years where we had incredible sales of EMTBs and MTBs. Yeah. And I think then forecast that incredible growth and that hugely buoyant market would continue, whereas actually sales in, I guess, pre-COVID, it seems like they're up. They're still doing well. There's lots of people riding bikes, but it feels like those huge boom years aren't there. So I think that's where companies have had to kind of go, lift off the throttle a little bit. But
is there trouble ahead? It does feel to me like there's no smoke without fire. But I think interestingly, we're talking about motorbike manufacturers, Yamaha, Gas Gas, Husky, where they've tried to diversify into e-mountain bikes, and doesn't look like it's worked out at least. So were they relying on the sort of cross demographics between sports? Does that kind of count for less than they maybe assumed?
Yeah, potentially. I mean, if you're into motorbiking, are you going to take up EMTB? It seems, I mean, I can see why they've thought that would be a logical step, but it feels like that isn't working.
I think there were crazy deals. I think in the US at one point you could buy a brand new KTM motorbike and get like a Gas Gas e-bike thrown in.
Wow.
I don't know if that's still the case. But on the other hand, there's more positive news out there as well. I think we've seen here a sneaky shot of a DJI display on another bike. Ooh. This time the high-end Spanish brand Uno. Which you must be aware of,
yes.
young Owen.
Cesar Rojo's brand. Yeah. So he used to race Shivers. He used to race World Cups. Was he on Global?
Global Racing, yeah, that was 20 years ago now with Mekana, Miss Jove, Greg Minard. It was like a massive team, that was.
Yeah. And then he was the same guy who then went on to, and I think it's fun, I think from his conversations, he was the sort of guy that pushed geometry further and further. I think Mondrake have a different story of that relationship, but still there was he was pivotal in that movement of making geometry much more progressive. So,
I think it was like almost a design agency for bikes.
Yeah.
And Uno's come from that. I know he raced the Dakar last year as well. He's a really interesting guy.
Okay.
So Uno, I think, it's exciting news. We saw a similar tease from Forbidden as well on the top tube of their bike with the DJI display. So that's quite a couple of first brands outside of their own Amflow bikes.
Yeah.
No official confirmation from either brand yet that they're launching these Avanox-powered bikes, but they're pretty hardcore brands, I've got to say.
Really hardcore, and it's really fun to see, DJI going, okay, we've got our own brand, but actually let's work with partners and really interesting and diverse partners, Forbidden, really famous for that really high pivot design, which they've launched throughout, from trail bike to, I guess, freeride to downhill bike. And then Uno with their really unique, and I guess they've got like a twin link, but very unique styling and unique geometry on those bikes. So, interesting move.
Obviously, the Amflow bike's a 150mm travel, so definitely in the trail bike zone. We don't know anything yet, but it'd be really interesting if we get like a 160, 170 bike out of
that would be...
I think that would be big news, and I think people would buy that. Interestingly, I've seen a lot of Amflows, even to our uploader. People are buying them and sending them to us. But also, it looks to me like these shops that I know, a friend of mine runs one. The Amflows are going out the doors, definitely. So, that is more positive news for the e-bike industry.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, hugely positive. It'll just be interesting to see how that grows and if it's just those two brands or there's even more.
Exactly. Right into cool places where we are travelling around the world, hot and cold actually this week.
Oh, lovely.
Starting off with Stephen in the hilly mountain bike mecca of Florida. Is it hilly? Hillocks, maybe. I
didn't think it was that hilly, but there we go.
Steve says, I thought it would be nice to brighten everyone's dreary grey January days. It is feeling a bit like that, isn't it? 2023 Giant Stance E+, no mods, although I have the iPhone mount because it was my get around town vehicle for a week.
Very good. And I can see that he's been to the beach, beer, seafood, which looks great. I've got to say, and I guess related to that seafood and seaside theme, we've got, my pronunciation will be horrendous, but Kamoana-Lea?
Sounds pretty good to me. I don't know, but yeah.
It looks like a Hawaiian island, and it looks like the Pacific in the kind of the top of the picture, and this incredible ridgeline. Pacific Island Paradise at 51 years old. He's just started playing with EMTBs, and it's a total game changer. I think you're like many people. Hasn't had a mountain bike in 15 years, and this bike has relit the fire, so now he's riding every day. Great to see, and amazing pictures.
Shall I finish? I'm going to slaughter this bit. It's finished with Maui no ka oi lahana strong, whatever that means.
Okay, perfect. Great.
Very nice. Next, a change of scenery to Skiddaw, winter. This is the lakes. Jason Chambers photography out with Chocolate Lab Barney Rubble on Turbo Levo. It's a great shot, this.
That is. That's
the drone great. And then chasing Barney Rubble. He's bombing, I've got to say.
And I thought it was Lapland or something like that, not just the Lake District. Yeah, it's stunning.
Proper frozen, isn't it?
Yeah. And from one epic location to another, we've got Sandane in Norway. One of Norway's most beautiful and fun single tracks. This is from Halvad Kalstad. That looks amazing.
Last summer by the looks of it, but it does, doesn't it? I would love to try and ride that.
It's snow capped in there as well. You've got a bit of lens flare. Amazing. Can we get a trip to Norway? Can I tag in?
I went to Sweden a couple of years ago and it was great, but it rained solidly for every day I was there. But it was great riding.
Awkward.
Right, into the feedback from various videos from the week. We love hearing what the viewers got to say. And this is from the Andorra video where Rich and Blake crossed the country in a day.
Yep.
With a route given to them by Steve Jones, which was apparently not... I think they turned back at one point. I don't know if that's in the video. I've not watched it yet, but it sounded pretty tricky.
Well, yeah, I've had one of those in mid-Wales, and it was an epic adventure. It was fantastic, to be fair. But,
Heldu sort of goes down that route, says, this is my favourite type of content on the EMBN. It'd be actually really nice if you could do some travel show-style content with recommendations on trails, rental and accommodation. I think that's a good idea.
Yeah, that is a great show.
I love doing the adventure stuff myself. And I'm planning some Scottish stuff, I hope.
Well, there's this epic in Wales. It's incredible, genuinely, just outside McCunsleth. It was just bonkers, the loop that Steve got.
Oh, I know where he sent you. North and then west, by any chance?
Well, no, south, this one.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
We ended
I've
up
ridden
in
some
kind
of
of,
that.
yeah.
South.
Amazing.
Is it part of the Trans-Cambrian Way? I'm not sure. It's pretty good, though.
Quite possibly, yeah. And this is related to Steve's tyre video, because, of course, now you're on
Riding the
Schwalbe.
shredder tyres.
Shredder tyres.
Yeah,
Okay,
I've not
right.
tried them out myself.
So this is from Kay Byrne, who says, I've got the Schwalbe MM, I'm assuming Magic Mary's. That's cool. On his Amflow, they made almost as much impression on me as getting the Amflow itself. Serious rubber.
The radials.
Radials.
So the radials, we're talking about how the ply threads sit relative to each other.
Yep.
And it's designed to give you a more compliant tyre at the same tyre pressures. I believe, I'm yet to try them, but I'm going out to Schwalbe, Cologne, week after next. So I'll get back to you with all the info. Yeah.
Pretty amazing that, from what I heard of all the people that have ridden the Amflow bike, it is sort of, I know that term's overused, but game changing. It is like a real step change in what a bike and an EMTB feels like. So it's fascinating that the Magic Marial radials have made almost as much of a change.
Yeah.
So lots going on there. Very exciting stuff.
Right now into the bike vault, where again we're heading around the world. And first we're going to Lisbon, and this is Pedro Nogueira's Albeia Wild M team. In Lagoa de Obidos, which that looks like a custom colour to me.
Yeah, it does.
I would say with a.
Can you do Mayo with the?
Yeah, you can.
Oh, there we
sort
go.
of
Great.
yellow on yellow, which is unusual, but I think it looks pretty punchy actually.
It does, yeah.
What are we saying?
I think that's super nice. I mean, it gets bonus points for me because I'm a bit of a bird lover.
Oh yeah.
And yeah, he's got kind of lots of big birds. I wouldn't go that far.
All right.
Twitch-esque maybe, but yeah.
Now we're heading to the cold, and this is
freezing
Matt
cold.
Cock, and this is. Well, it's Bella Vista, Arkansas. I've been there. I don't know if I've ridden the tunnel trail, but it was much warmer when I went, obviously in summertime, but it was red hot and really humid when I went there.
Well, it looks, Baltic, I would say, but
Doesn't it?
More than Baltic, sort of Alaskan snow, lots and lots of snow. I think that's just super nice. I really like the fact that there's a mix of, we've got Dengfu E82, which I've got to say I'm not aware of, but I'm aware of
interesting.
Like, all the Hope stuff and kind of like jazzy wheels and jazzy drivetrain. So interesting to know more about that.
That snow looks so deep, you're just going to pack everything and freeze everything up. But
Yeah, but it'd
I like
be great on the e-bike.
Would be.
Yeah.
It's super nice, got to be.
Yeah, definitely. Super nice.
Now we're heading to your neck of the woods, Owen. This is Clent Hills, West Midlands, mate.
Oh, it's great.
Is it? Yeah.
It is. Massive. Absolutely massive mountain, that.
Valor Bike Trails is the user. I don't know who that is, but that's a good username. And this is obviously on a Santa Cruz Valor. We've seen a few of these as well, new bikes coming out. Orange Bergtech Bling, range extender, some mud guards, but mostly stock for now.
Yeah, very good. And you'd need such a capable bike in the massives of Col de Clent. It's very big.
Massive altitude.
Huge altitude gains. I think...
Good fun. We're joking. You may not know this, but it's quite a small hill. But it's
a
great,
very, very small hill.
Fun.
Yeah.
I went there years ago, and there's like sandy downhill tracks and quite some big drops and stuff as well.
Yeah, there is. And it's... Yeah, no, it is really fun. There's a nice mix of nice single track and, flowy stuff. It is good.
Not far from the England's second city, mate.
Yes, that's true, yeah.
Exactly.
Stone's throw away from Kidderminster too, so yeah.
Exactly.
Right, next up we've got Tom Barry. He's a newcomer to the sport at the age of 31. Well, don't worry, 31 is still quite young.
Yeah.
First time full suspension and first time on an EMTB. He absolutely loves riding it and loves the channel. All good things to hear. And he's riding with his partner and solo, and it gets us further and higher, exploring places that we wouldn't otherwise ride. And he's in South Wales, and there are proper hills in South Wales.
Swansea to Resolve, and I see you must have been to Riola, some downhill races there.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I have. Yeah,
it's a good neck of the woods.
More spannering than than actually riding.
Some proper tracks around there.
I feel like Minas D I Road. That's not that far away.
That's Abergavenny.
Is it? Oh right, okay.
Dan Hansen next, and we've got Santa Cruz Heckler 9C mixed wheel XL. This is Lost Valley, St. Charles, Minnesota, I believe, MO.
Yeah,
Bash guards.
I think that's super nice as well. I think, just to say, last one, for me, super nice as well. Yeah.
All right, we go.
Dual super nices.
Are we going for the full house? Because we're finishing with Chiho and a transition relay, PNW, Pacific Northwest, Fox 38s, DHX coil as well, swap drivetrain to the Shimano 11-speed XT Link Glide, the strong e-bike drivetrain, which sounds like a good move to me. TRP Evo downhill DHR brakes, I should say, for plenty of stopping power.
Yeah, give it a super nice.
All right.
Yeah, no, very good. Like that a lot.
Full house. Right over to, I watched this actually just yesterday. Danny McCaskill is doing Danny McCaskill things, but it's kind of a different feel to this video. It's called Damn Daniel, but actually he's kind of just, it's almost like a fly on the wall following him around with his new Santa Cruz Valor.
Nice.
And he's just kind of learning the bike, doing some amazing riding as you'd expect from him. But it's quite a nice vibe to it. It's not as kind of, hit after hit like his others.
A bit more of a story.
And he rides this horrible, he always rides horrible stuff, but this pipeline that he and the first shot is him kind of falling off it because he's just,
which is
like
cool.
that.
But
then he's riding over really high bits of it, so it's pretty scary, as you'd imagine.
Yeah, he does a lot more than I do. Next up, we have got Matthew. Am I saying it right?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, we'll go with Matthew Ruffray. I wonder if he's related to like Tyler Ruffray. No, that's
Rattray.
Rattray. That's MX,
close
isn't
enough.
it? Oh.
He was a KTM, right?
Is he?
He was.
Well, this is a Kamenkiel.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I think this is in Santa Coloma. You're saying, I think,
Santa Coloma. It's just outside of Girona. It's a great riding spot where there's just. It's a shame Steve's not here because he didn't know the type of stone. I would say it's sandstone, but it's really, really grippy.
Yeah.
And there are some really gnarly, really steep downhills, which it looks like that's what Matthew's doing, is going up one of those.
Well, it does look amazing.
I rode a Merida there end of last year, and it was a great, fun place to ride. So, it's a good style of riding.
Yeah, no, it is. It's just, for me, that's why EMTBs are really rad, is that you can just go wild on the climbs.
And have big crashes going up as well as down.
Yeah, that'd be great for me. More big crashes. Great.
Right, that's it for this week's show. By the way, coming up on EMBN this week, this video, I think I promised it a couple of weeks ago, but it's finally ready. And it is buying a second-hand e-mounted bike worth it? Where I talk about what I can find for the money, and I do find what I think is a good bike for £2,500. But the risks you take on with buying a second-hand bike without any warranty, any motor issues, things like that. And I went to the e-bike motor centre to talk to them about what you could do if your motor went wrong. So I think it should be quite an interesting one.
Interesting.
Anyway, thanks for watching this week's EMBN show, and thanks for joining me, Owen.
Thank you. Thanks.